So from what I can tell, the vast majority of the evidence is on your side, and I believe you. But I'm getting a very different message from what I say from mainstream psychology as well as my graduate program. Like you mentioned, a lot of this gender confusion could be caused by a pre-existing mental illness. And what I've been taught in my program is that you're not supposed to look for any other cause. Like trans is the root cause of everything. There's no other reason why a kid would identify that way. So there's no use in going below the surface. This is the primary thing that needs to be treated, and the treatment is gender affirming care. But you're saying there's something more under the surface, right?
Yeah, the level of comorbidities among this cohort is sky high. They're highly likely to have anxiety, depression, ADHD, autism, OCD, eating disorders. They have other conditions. Now, when they're young children, it's not as likely. When they're young children, it's much more likely that they'd be gay, lesbian, or bisexual when they're older. When they're teenagers, it's much more likely that they have other significant mental health challenges, and that they, as a lonely, lost, distressed teenager, they go online, they discover the concept of transgender, and they realize something is lit inside them. They realize I could be a different person with a different name, and I could take medication and I won't even look like myself, and nobody will be able to refer to that old person. They'll only be able to refer to the new cool person that might be very like that YouTube influencer that I watch all the time. This is what these vulnerable and naive, and they are mostly naive and gullible kids, are falling into. This kind of false promise that they can be a different person. And there's a great book by, the guru of mindfulness, Wherever You Go, There You Are. And what happens is they medically transition, but underneath they're still the anxious, distressed, person that they've always been. And so there might be a bump, there might be a kind of a spike of happiness, because getting what you want and being offered a new life is very heady, it's very exciting. Being on hormones, for example, testosterone for a female, you've got a huge amount of energy, you feel stronger, you have much higher libido. It really is a hell of it's like cocaine for these young girls. It's really, really powerful drug. So there's a spike. They feel great for a while, but then some years on testosterone, they get, continuous UTIs, they get a huge amount of pain on orgasm. So the high libido is a massive source of frustration because it's too painful for them. And they end up in pain. And so what was great at the beginning, which is very like a lot of drugs, great at the beginning, then over time the whole thing cracks and it's not fun anymore and it's not great anymore.